Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Я рад приветствовать вас на нашем мероприятии и предлагаю начать нашу работу. Очень рад, то, что в технологии на сегодняшний день здесь собрались, потому что важно было для нас создать такую атмосферу, в которой наши партнеры, наши инвесторы, наши технологические компании, наши стартапы могли вместе в режиме рабочего диалога обсудить возможное сотрудничество. Перед началом мероприятия я хотел немножко напомнить про нас, про Pulsar Venture Capital и про то мероприятие, которое сегодня проходит на площадке ITCAP. Группа компаний Pulsar Venture Capital — это международная компания с офисами и присутствием в разных странах мира. Мы из Казани исторически в 2009 году при поддержке системы венчурного инвестирования Татарстан запустили свой бизнес. И сейчас мы активно работаем по всему миру, оказывая поддержку технологическим компаниям в разных секторах для выхода на глобальный рынок. Наша инвестиционная стратегия и наши инвестиционные ресурсы направлены на то, чтобы создать поддержку компаниям в ранних стадиях по выходу на глобальный рынок. В этом один из основных фокусов нашей стратегии, потому что мы видим большой потенциал на международном рынке и очень сильно способны для того, чтобы делать бизнес на международных рынках, в том числе и в России. Потому что это большие концентрации экспертизы, технологий, которые мы умеем и помогаем компаниям реализовать. Наша инвестиционная стратегия включает несколько направлений. Это блокчейн, это позиционинг в определенной нише, книги, entertainment, спорт, финансы, ритейл. Также мы не айтишный проект, тоже инвестируем. Это так называемая hardware составляющая, новые вычислительные материалы, системы и аппараты. Основная структура нашего бизнеса заключается в трех, наверное, направлениях. Это значит то, что компания готова принимать инвестиции. Мы уже подтвердили определенным образом свою состоятельность как в области предприятия, так и в области менеджмента. Ну и на 2016 году мы провели первую программу, часть которой связана именно с повышением разработки, получили неплохие результаты, где компания приняла инвестиции, мы работали в рамках программы и показали свою жизнеспособность. В 2017 году мы начали проводить эту программу более активно с привлечением международных инвесторов. У нас очень много инвестиций стали серьезными, регулярными, привлекли партнеров, которые делали выездные центры, где практически компания участвовала в этих центрах не только в прокачивая специалистов, руководство и создавая партнерские связи, возможность первых пилотных встреч, и для того, чтобы организовать первый стартап, и так вот происходит. Вопросы? Работаем с концептуальным подходом. Давайте представим ситуацию. Однозначно современные проекты действительно требуют производственных мощностей. Они значительно превосходят производственные мощности современных заводов. Заинтересованы в таком заводе, который за менее короткий срок дает минимум 20% мощности одной страны. Для одного завода это означает, что успешно он может производить 20 тысяч единиц. А это не значит, что они работают с заводом, который позволит установить повышенную эффективность. Вот сейчас достаточно прочитать научные исследования. Оказывается, неизбежно 2,5 раза больше производительность повторить технологии. Один показатель в России – это использование искусственного интеллекта. Это касается строительства и домостроения. Это документация. Планирование строительства повышение эффективности работы геологических инженеров. Когда мы разработали эти исследования, мы разработали генеративный алгоритм преинвестирования в искусственный интеллект. Этот алгоритм вывел неправильно расчеты производительности домостроения. На сегодняшний день рынок искусственного интеллекта используется на миллиарды объектов. Мы берем домостроение производительность более 80%. Экономически наша задача сейчас стабильно создать сеть ближайших производственных мощностей. Это к 2022 году планируется увеличить производительность домостроения примерно в 1,5 раза. Поэтому конкурентная ситуация сегодня в России очень сложная. Такой же принцип работы идет и в общем производстве. Давайте взглянем на наш вопрос второй. Почему вы производите сложные производства? Есть агрегатор, есть системный контроль, есть полимерик. Почему вы не используете сложные производства? Давайте вернемся к данному случаю. Представьте, что вы владелец завода, который строит высокопроизводительные мощности. А рядом планируете производить однозначно высокопроизводительные мощности. Как осуществить на сегодняшний день решение высокопроизводительных подходов к производству очень
Спасибо. У меня вопрос, а опытное производство есть это возобновление?
Да, мы разрабатываем технологии.
Ну, а объем находится у вас, да, то есть где находится и как его можно?
Пока сейчас производственная линия.
Спасибо большое. Вопрос есть еще? Ренат. Извините, пожалуйста, Ренат, включайте микрофон, коллеги, я...
Да, Ренат Гафаров. Я хотел посмотреть вот эту таблицу, да. А вы конкурентов изучали, то есть вы можете сейчас кратко сказать, в чем ваши преимущества и конкуренты?
Да, конечно. Главное требование на сегодняшний день – это Capsule компания. И мы должны максимально увеличить производительность. Главное ближайших конкурентов. Если мы посмотрим, то у нас есть 4 разных завода.
приглашаю в следующий стартап, диалог с Иваном Новиковым. Коллеги, я хотел обратить ваше внимание, что в раздаче материалов у вас есть анкета обратной связи. Вот наша спич-сессия 1 проходит. Достаточно простая форма, суть которой заключается в отметке двух параметров. Это поставить отметку, заинтересовал ли проект для более внимательного изучения. Мы понимаем, что достаточно сложно в рамках короткой презентации принять решение инвестиционное, поэтому если какая-то синергия или если интерес для того, чтобы продолжить обменять, ну и комментарий по проекту, если вы сочтете это возможно оставить. Спасибо большое. Светлана.
Добрый день, Александр. Вы рассказали о проекте создания программного
Помпа, я так понимаю, это та, которая пульсирует лекарство. Как-то всю систему настраивать надо человеку, чтобы она...
В настоящий момент надо. Мы как раз работаем над специальным исключением, которое будет либо автоматически, либо индивидуально для человека. Потому что сейчас пока это делать я могу автоматически, а так нет.
Да, просто вопрос, нужны специальные знания.
В настоящий момент да. Ну вот наше приложение на телефоне уже максимально ограничено приложением использования но все равно это недостаточно. Ладно, она чем хороша? Она музыкальна. Поэтому надеемся, что это будет новое.
А сколько вы говорите, ожидаете?
Ну, сейчас вот у нас премиальный, естественно, я очень не знаю, я думаю, что миллион точно. Я так думаю. Потому что мы сейчас на многие темы думаем о сертификации. Мы согласились с Pulsar, и они нам примерно разложили, какой сертификат мы должны быть. И мы находимся в этом году и делаем. Но да, я хотела сказать, что мы создаем вчера
Hello, my name is Andrei Gmelitsky. My proposal is musical projects and create over 100,000 hours of visual products that require music are being created as video games, various movies, etc., etc. But at the moment, the process of approval and is being done manually, thus finding some quality music is taking time and challenging. On top of this, the authors of music are having challenges with the promotion of their music, and annually the sales from the per track is falling. On the other hand, those who are consuming say copyright the materials, they have to provide certain reporting on rights elements. Our proposal is to cover the needs of participants of the market and covering the needs in the selection, buying, and all the elements of the music procurement. The main players of rather large market and growing annually. US, Europe, Brazil, India, China, Nigeria is also growing. In the international market, there are certain services that have similar functionality, but our strong side is that we orient at services for large rights buyers. And we intend to be showing good local music because it's well known that it's mainly the local music that is popular. Our business model is based on business-to-business sales, both with the sale of separate tracks as well as subscription. First of all, we're talking about the clients such as video production as well as the live TV production. We also intend to be offering B2 business-to-business, business-to-customer services on selection of both music and artists. The team has a large experience in musical production, IT, as well as video production. The team consists of 4 people. We are based in Kazan. At the moment, we need investment for the further development of the final development of the platform, promotion as in throughout the region as well, and predominantly Asian markets. As of today, we have preliminary agreements with market participants, and we have developed platform prototype. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, colleagues. Whether we have any questions to Andrei or interesting further, introducing Marat Dusaev, Agro Innovations. Hello, my name is Marat. I am the founder of Agro Innovations company. Our startup is Find ID. The issue of we are addressing is that the consumers don't see information about products. They only see the fat, protein, etc. They don't see what kind of animals were generating this milk, who was transporting, and thus, etc., and thus the doubt in the quality of the products. In our case, we are offering solution to see whole of the process, accounting of the registration of animal systems that is tracking the amount of milking, integration with the state's mercury state system, factories that are receiving that milk to produce, and then the consumer is reading QR code, understanding what it does. The system is already working in Savinsky district. We have signed a contract with a Barakatli milk factory, and we do already have first sales. The market in CIS countries today counts for 70 million cows, and that's million rubles. 30% is about turnover of the animals, so the turnover is 2.7 billion rubles. The milk factories in the Russian Federation alone are 240. The market also over 2 million rubles. In the second dimension of a Find ID software, we do have developed module, the understanding where we will be going, integration with state systems. We have developed our own accounting and registration system using near field communication technology, that the cheapest system that allows agricultural producer to introduce it with a cost of no more than 10,000 rubles. As of today, we have monetary of 5 million kilos of milk, developed mobile app, and this is all of the business process, which is today taking place in the farms. The first is passports. If the data is more than consumption, then a reporting to Minister of Communication. If everything is fine, Minister of Agriculture, etc. If calculating whether it is everything is fine with natural milk, or is it someone is providing dry milk, and then down to identify we need 70 million rubles for 20% of the company. Our project was also introduced at the Eurasian Economic Forum, was supported by the United Nations Agricultural Organization at the global level. Thank you very much for your attention. Questions, dear colleagues? Marat, I remember you visited us with a previous project on labeling animals. Did you manage? This project as of today, there is a market of registration, identification of agricultural animals, and the next step was trace information about the quality of products. We just brought it under two different brands. There is a Find ID, when you'll be able to read QR codes. Agro Innovation as a software is something that is working on the other part of this on the farms. Thank you. We are inviting Timur Galiev with the presentation of rat houses. Dear experts, rat houses, Timur Galiev, Director, Hardcore L1 for Industrial Wireless Internet of Things, or in Russian, Long Distance Interference Resistant Wi-Fi. What is LR1? It's low power wide area network, the key element is that that is covering the distance for tens of kilometers. Just what used to be accessible only in special frequencies using low power transmitter with the batteries able to work for 10 years. At the moment, the leaders would be Sigfox that brought €1.5 million invest develop the network. Thus allows any kind of sensors that are supplied with the batteries, pressure, temperature, various kind of housing and communal services are covered. Worldwide, the amount is over 45 billion units. Talking about the second LP1 is about 1 billion units. And the key challenges at the moment, these things are not very reliable. If one or two messages reach a month, that's acceptable in the system of security and the industrial IoT. It's not yet acceptable in the Russia and in Europe. Unlicensed ranges are not considered to be reliable because anyone can use this. In the United States, there is a second approach in line with the Federal Communications Committee. It's described that unlicensed means wide spectrum of frequencies, and it's okay to adapt military systems of coding such as jump over the frequencies, etc. In the United States, such systems are allowed at unlicensed frequencies, and let's describe an example. General Electric, the largest producer of equipment for energy complex, railroads, power stations, and here you can see that their technology is acceptable in oil extraction, refining, storage.
Here are the examples, just right from their site. It's electric energy supply, the safety systems, up to 20 miles, about 30 kilometers, and land-based a little less. And we have to say that according to their technologies, they're not a micro-consuming. And so we just unite two concepts to go to the segment of the protected communication with the micro-consumption of energy. And here we just adapted for the micro-consumption. And so the pilot project which we are implementing, it's a radio channel of the alarm system for the different objects. It's about 20 million such objects, for example, country houses, and with a seasonal usage for half a year, summer season, and with some facilities which you don't have electric energy supply. So perspective usage is just on the slide. Each of them probably take 10 minutes to explain. I will tell you in detail if you want to. The global task is to organize the industry of industrial wireless on SM basis. And Timur, time is running out, yes. So the key competencies for our team, well, thank you very much. Yes, I hope we can do it. And then may I ask you a question? Apart from you, who are your closest competitors? The closest competitor is it's a Stage company, Vacant, some other companies. So they are pseudo-Russian brands in which they seek for technology. Even in Kazan we have 3 or 4 stations. So these are we have one more option, the LoRa technology, American technology. Is it so-called last mile? No. These are 2 approaches. It's either last mile, 2 or 3 kilometers, and what is promoted by the Sigfox, it's a basic station with about 100 kilometers range, and the price of equipment is well, average up to $50 per unit. So it's a mass segment. For example, it's an agricultural field with the sensors of humidity and temperature in the ground, and you optimize the planting season. So what do you have of your own? Yeah, American, yeah. And in Russia we have 20, 30 companies. From engineering viewpoint, what is of your own? Several years ago we developed prototype, which is adapted. This is based on what protocol you do it. This is proprietary protocol. So this is a magic chip, the amplifier. What is yours? What is yours exactly here? Is it your news? The scheme patent. As for the business, a couple of words about business. You talked a lot about possibilities. What about the current business? Current business. Right now we are trying to promote, and our first step is the radio protection of the non-electrified objects. Revizioner company, Sergey Flavita next. My name is Gerasimov Sergey. I am the general director of the Revizioner company. We develop electronic libraries and use them in different areas. The existing technology on the market is difficult to access to technologies and implementation of them in the, for example, door locks, in the some kind of alarm system in the houses. It's about companies which have their own production, but they don't have their own R&D. With our ideas, we can solve their technical problems. So these are the 4 products. So it's so this is the intellectual, the smart speaker system, the smart sensors in the house, smart door lock, and you can learn when is your door open, if there is somebody behind your door, and for example, what time your kid came back from school. And also our products are using technology of the voice recognition system and face recognition system as well. Our business model is, there are big companies, top companies which produce, but they don't have innovation systems in their product line. And as a result, their product is cheaper, much cheaper than the companies which have these systems. So our company implements, we can, for example, implement our elements. For example, we can build in our door lock for free. We just get a percentage of sales of selling the smart doors. Companies which start working with us automatically become one of the leaders of the market because they offer same smart technologies of other companies, but much cheaper. An example of monetization, it's a master lock company which makes about 80,000 doors with an average price from 50 to 20,000 rubles. The equipping of one door is about 700 rubles. And the net profit will be about 300 rubles from one door. So if you calculate, so we can make about 24 million rubles in 1 year, or $400,000 just from one company. We organized marketing research, and this is a diagram in which we showed you the market of real estate, which is about $8.7 trillion. The market of doors, which is $27 billion, and specifically the market for the door locks, which is about $133 million. Taking into account our solutions, we can launch any product in 9 months. The investor can invest their money and then just share the profit percentage for the development of one product. It will take about $250 to develop one product. Our company has 11 professionals in engineering and programming. We have vast experience in developing of such products. Thank you for your attention. How many doors have been sold already? I cannot tell you exactly how many doors our competitors sold. But with your technology, no, we haven't sold yet. That's exactly what we are looking money for. Who are the main consumers? Who are the main buyers of these products? The technology buyer will be the company, producing company, which don't have their own innovation system inside the company to build smart doors. It's trendy and popular to buy smart doors. People care more about their safety and security. How many door producers company you met personally? You didn't talk face to face to companies, not yet. We haven't talked to the door producers, door manufacturers, not yet. Thank you, Sergey. Ruslan, Plavita. My name is Ruslan, and I'm happy to present Flavita, the 3D designer of the flower bouquets. Nowadays, flower buyers come across when they buy flowers to give somebody, or to, for example, to decorate their flats. They have two problems. First is the limited bouquet design, because they're usually the standard. You cannot create something yourself. And the second problem is, in most cases, stores and flowers are not fresh. And our solution is that we supply these flowers from the wholesale companies with the flower boxes. And in this box there is instruction how to design bouquet and special instructions how to take care of the bouquet. When you choose the bouquet design, you can build it in a 3D model, share it in the social networks, and then just order it. Our solution you can it can be available in December on Google Play. The market is growing, 20% growth every year in Russia, and the world market is about $40 billion. Our partners, it's the wholesale, flowers wholesale, from where we already deliver our flowers. Our competitors, this is competitive market has very bad graphic design, Blue Wild companies. These are the serious competitors which use the concept of box delivery, but they don't have 3D design, and they don't have the computer content for it. When we promote this project, we use targeted advertisement and bloggers and some other channels of advertisement. Main expenses are flowers, advertisement, R&D, and personnel. We have experienced team. We have been working together for more than 5 years, so we have done more than 30 successful projects. By 2025, we plan to have 100 million profit. To achieve these goals, we need 15 million investment, and so this is how we plan to use this money. Thank you for your attention. If you want to be unique, give unique presents. Thank you, Ruslan. Do you have any dishonest competition? Let me put it for a while. It's the big importer of flowers, which they have very low prices. So what is this? What do you have? What competitive with it? We don't. We compete honestly. We have this system in Kazan, so we deliver from the wholesale to client, but we don't have this honest competition. We don't have any significant competitive advantage. Thank you. So thermoabrasive group. Dear colleagues, we have a little sheet the thermoabrasive group sent me. My name is Dmitry Shapshnikov. So oil pipes. We all know that we have a lot of natural resources in Russia. So the oil production, gas production, the oil which goes up from the wells, and so the water which is pumped in has different kind of salts. So they have the sediments on the walls of the pipes. So the production falls, and it's really bad for the industry. So this is how it looks like. And to clean these pipes, in the market we have some engineering solutions, but not all of them are able to clean pipes. Like for example, look at the ones at the pictures. These are completely very dirty pipes, and for the rust, clogged pipes. And we've been developing the jet engines, and using this technology, using the super sound technology and high temperature. When we use kinetic energy, using the high temperature and using the abrasive materials, it cleans inside and outside of the pipeline. It cleans it completely up to the metal. And during this time, the earlier options or earlier technologies were implemented in Tatneft company. All these installations have been working very successfully, and the Tatneft company just asked us, would you please increase the productivity of this installation? We just clean 20-30 pipes a day, and they ask us to make more. With the support of the Pulsar venture capital, we now, as a venture support, we have the support of a strategic investor, and we implement technology when we increased our productivity to 280 pipes during one shift. And our goal is to clean 700 pipes a day, a shift. And the price of the new pipe is from 4,000 to 7,000 rubles. It is standard 10 meters long standard oil pipe. And our cleaning technology allows to return this pipe just for 700 rubles. So we understand that for the oil company, which is working on the oil field, it is very profitable to give us pipes for cleaning rather than buying the new ones. We evaluate the market, and market is quite big. And in Russia, it's about 650 million euros. Our business model is service, providing services, and now we are very actively collecting clients, and we interpret their requests as come to us for our services. We have developed equipment to clean from 114 millimeters, an internal diameter 89 millimeters, and in future we'll develop equipment to clean pipes of up to 16 millimeters. 16 millimeters. So we can use it for 60 millimeters. It's just size for the small oil companies. Up to the end of 2019, all ranges of pipe sizes will be able to service all of them and clean all of them. So this is the team of our project, and see there are some financial indicators on our right. And right now we are building a new equipment, and in the end of spring next year we'll launch this equipment, and I will be very happy to invite all of you to look at our pilot projects when, after testing in Tatnets company, we plan to organize this work. And let me just finish now. And in Russian investment forum, we very actively work with the Tatnets company in order to have two test pilot products. The investment, we need $4.5 million in order to not just try and test all pipe sizes, but also to organize production and supply of these installations to the oil fields. A share of our company up to 51%, so we are ready to give you the majority of shares, 51%, and we understand that the business models, when the cost is about 700 rubles, so we sell it back to the company with the half price of the new pipe.
That way, the period of return on investment period will be about 3 to 4 years. Thank you, Dmitry. Any questions? Again? We are now inviting TriFit Murat Kuram, Kurashinov. Good afternoon, dear colleague. Good morning, dear colleague. My name is Murat. Today I am introducing TriFit company. And before I start the pitch, my question would be, do you know the size of the shoes you wear? Not me. Because producers are often setting their own standards, and numbers vary. Thus, there is some challenge in understanding what would be your size for the specific shoes. The size is just a number, while geometry of the foot is unique. We are offering to identify using a scan and find shoes. What happens today is that we are going to offline shops, and we are trying to find shoes there because we don't trust online sales. And if we found some shoes in the offline store, it doesn't mean that they will actually fit us well, because the shoes in statics and shoes when we are actually wearing them during the movement are very different. And that obviously reflects in the sales. The offline sales are times higher than online sales because there's no trust online. The result is that 60% of the bought products are returned. So what's our solution? We produce 3D food scanner as well as software, which helps to find shoes that will be comfortable to the person. Within a few seconds, your foot is scanned and the Capsule system is comparing the unique geometry of your feet with thousands of shoe models of various shoe producers. As a result, you are being informed of the most comfortable solutions that were found by intellectual system. To simplify decision making, we introduced qualitative and quantitative metrics, and here is how they look. And the mobile app, how it looks like. We see two types of monetization of the project. First one is service payment in retail stores where the scanner as well as our software will be used, as well as the second option would be licensing. And we approached the signing of contract with technological giant HP, which is ready to pay for every produced scanner, $200 as a license payment per unit. In the future, this technology would allow production of personalized shoes as well as personalized shoe inserts. All of this program is called Fit Station, and the Hewlett Packard is inviting DryFit to become part of this. Market sizes very big, different figures are given, but it's a multi-billion market at the moment. We are piloting this product in Russia as well as in the United States. In Russia, it's Decathlon, Finger, and Deconica, and in US, we are in Brooks, Under Armour, and Allen Edmonds. We are negotiation stages with the further companies down below. Our partners are, well, 1C is one of our investors, HP is our strategic partner, and Intel is our technological partner. We use their technologies to produce a scanner. We have a number of competitors internationally. All of them at the moment are startups. One of them is Swedish, other is Dutch, and one is Russian company from St. Petersburg. Our company at the moment is registered in three countries. We are the tenants of Skolko Technopark. We have developers here in Innopolis in Tatarstan, as well as we are winners of very many startup villages, ventures, and startup events. At the moment, we are looking for $1 million of investment in line with the evaluation of the, whilst evaluating the company for at $12 million to produce 1,000 scanners in the country and scan more than 3 million unique feet, which allow us to reach $60 million valuation in 3 years' time and sell the company to the strategic investor. We have a very strong team of developers and managers. The founders, Ragan Martirosyan, the creator of 15 startups, with successful exits for a number of them, and myself, I was managing a company with $1 billion in turnover, actually taking it to $1 billion from 100 million sales. Thank you very much. Join us and let's transform shoe retail market together. Should you be interested in a scanner extending by the first column, feel free to scan your feet. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Questions? Murat, hello? Could you please talk to us about the pilots? Are they for pay or free? What is the success criteria and when will they be over? At the moment, they are free. The criteria is that the people who are scanning their feet in the system, that the system is selecting, offering shoes to them, or more than 80% of them should state that the shoes were selected properly, but the number of those who scan their feet should be over 300. These are the parameters. What we are doing. What will be the benefit to stores? Stores are believe, and most likely this is a global trend, that the sales are moving from offline to online, and that's also true in shoes. And since in the United States offline stores are closing very actively, moving to favor of online sales, our producers want to follow that trend and want to transform significant share of their offline buyers into online. And how will our technology help them? Our technology will help them in a way that we brand our app as the shoe producer. That's what we branded. The person is coming to the store. His feet are invited to be scanned. He's automatically downloading the app, and in his phone he sees his feet as well as the models that are matching his feet from this shoe producer, and then without even going to the store he can be buying products. Thank you. Any? Are you looking into children's shoes? Polyclinics, dispensarization. I didn't quite get it. Is it children or medical? I'm talking about through medical centers because the number of at least 300 children will be going to medical centers before going to school, and that's the segment. Children are unable to say whether it is convenient or not. It's more complex to them than to adults. Those 3D scanning and sales on the internet to their parents can be a challenge that can easily be resolved. There is one challenge related with children that we don't yet know how to deal with in case children. Since scanning is taking place on the scanner and children's feet are growing quickly, it means that children will have to be scanned periodically if the scanner will be in the location where they are going through the mandatory checkups, and that's not causing any problem. I think that's quite possible. But bringing a child every time to the store and scanning his feet and then buying online, that doesn't work. I didn't mean that. Just think about the idea of children. The fact that their feet are growing is actually very good for the people selling shoes. Part of the team is already doing the negotiations in this aspect. Maybe Murat doesn't want to be talking about it, but the direction is quite right. It's very much related to the complex program that the team is launching in the installation of scanners in various locations to gather respective points where the information can be collected and monetized. Thank you very much, Murat. The first pitch session is over. These were the companies of the seed stage. We went through them quite quickly, and before we moved to the growth stage companies, and we'll have more time to interact with the startups. I'd like to give the floor for the welcoming the head of investment venture funded by the Republic of Tatarstan, our long-time partner, Nur Aydildinov. Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to figure out, first I'd like to request all the representatives of startups to raise their hands for me to identify how many startups do we have in the audience. Can you please raise hands? Okay, thank you. Now investors, please. Who represents investors here? We see approximately equal quantity, pleased to see this. Dear friends, I would like to congratulate each and every one of us with the event that we are having today. It's third year that we are jointly running Celebration program. You know that Mr. Venture Fund is the development institute of the Republic of Tatarstan. We had to learn quite a lot traveling also around the world over the course of the last 10 years, initiating a number of programs and instruments that would later help to transform the ideas that people are coming with to the products on the shelves. It's a very challenging industry. You'll understand this. Due to this, the acceleration program was initiated with running something outside of Investment Venture Fund, because the founders of Investment Venture Fund is the state, there is the government of the Republic of Tatarstan. In our understanding, it was to be the private entities that would be doing this. We had to find a leader and the private team that would dedicate themselves to this industry. I am one of those who is the proponent of the target acceleration team. Is a mechanism that's very necessary not only in the Republic of Tatarstan but throughout our very large country. In our country, we can of course have the possibility to brag with having smart people that were coming up here presenting their products. At the same time, we have a very acute need, and we certainly feel the drawback of both entrepreneurs and professional investors. Every investor, we understand this, and look, I'm myself representing here investment sector. Three elements are important. A, it's important to have the products. We heard this, the products are there. Secondly, the availability, the presence of the market. And the third aspect, the availability of the team that would be capable of taking the product to the market it's meant for. Looking at today's project presentations and comparing that with the way we were beginning it, and today I am pleased to see the level of startups, because I see the product presentation, market presentation, drawing attention to the strong sides of the team are improving. We have to understand that for everything like this happen, it's important that around the innovative product, we also have three important components, the criteria. When I'm talking about the fact that we need the product itself, I clearly hear today that we do have products. Everyone who was coming up, and I was actually very attentive listening, was showing clearly that there is a product. But the market, frankly, I didn't see the market everywhere, every case. This message of what could be the place that your product might take at the market, and what is the message that you should be taking there, something that you need to be working on. Third thing we are talking about is the team. Because how can we get the product to the marketplace? Very simple. Three main components are innovative products. One is scientists. We have seen those who generate, who create, who are familiar with the topic. That's a scholar or scientist is the main task function of his is creation, accumulation of knowledge. Second person in the team is an innovator who is coming up with the idea how can this develop and be effectively and practically be applied in life. And another element, participant of the team, is entrepreneur who understands the main risk in this business, because here today we are not talking about the production of the high quality product, but we are talking about business. How this high quality product and using of the intellectual property we can earn some money and take certain market niche. These things are most important. And in this regard, I would like to thank all of you, because despite the fact that, it was never simple in our country, and especially in case of innovative business, And despite the fact that the loan policy and the availability financial means funding is getting more complicated, as well as the funds, the money that is available in the market start requesting higher standards and higher expectations for the products and teams. And this is obviously clear for investors present here. Often I see why do you need this acceleration team. I even heard that this is just an extra intermediary between the investor and the startup. I would frankly disagree with this very much because there are many things, myself being an investor and investing through legal structures as well as a private individual, and you often get the following. Sometimes you don't want to be dealing with the routine, and you want these routine elements to be done professionally by someone, because even the three niches I mentioned, identifying your market and the bringing together the team, important. Some projects are very interesting to listen to, but let me recommend right away, in the team of yours you should have representatives of some with international experience that knows the marketing well, knows how to sell. One of the companies stated that we do have competitors in the market. There are some vectors, the American companies, very expensive, nobody will buy, in case of flowers, for example.
We have better and more beautiful product. It's not so because it's more beautiful or better. The history knows a lot of examples when the product is much worse, but the marketing strategy is better and the company is more successful and it kills competitors because of the better marketing. So that is why the acceleration program solves these issues, because those connections which which you already established the venture, Pulsar venture company, their experience shows very quickly identify and take and cope with the most difficult part. We know what is an innovative product and what is startup. Ben Sofer, the head of the Transfer Technology Center in Techno University, our good friend and partner, in December he promised to come here and you can meet with him if you are interested. We probably will organize some round table. And he said startup is like a rocket. When the rocket is on the ground and when you start launching it, rocket loses during this initial stage, loses about 80% of its fuel, and then it goes further for 20% of fuel. So choosing board of directors, choosing the team, so these are the main prerequisites of any startup success. Well, of course, there are other nuances. And nowadays, 20 companies which I'm closely watching and monitoring as a venture fund, and we don't interfere at all. Just we try to understand what they want. And I would like to thank Pulsar venture company, which is who performed this work. I would like to thank all investors for their interest, and of course startup representatives, because you're just doing a great job, and wish you good luck. We're always open for you, and if you have some questions directly to us, we're always ready to support your company. But please remember that for success you need these criteria, and you have to reconsider certain things, and these are the values which Pulsar Venture can provide. Thank you very much. Well, I hope at least $1 million you will invest in the startups which you presented. We move on to session 2, on which you have growth stage companies. Dear colleagues, if you have wish we can just tell us which companies were most interesting for you so that we can organize meeting with them. So this is the second stage, and the floor is given to Anton Transin, Yorsa company. We change our form a little bit, we give a little bit more time, 7 minutes for presentation, and after that 5 minutes for question time, just to discuss how we were ready to move on with the company. Anton, thank you. And dear guests, I present yours product. It's B2B product for the seafood and fish products. Some of you would say that 2018 people drive Tesla and go in SpaceX, and we still talk about marketplaces. Nevertheless, at least you remember Bill Gates said that if you are not in internet with your business, you are not in business. And nowadays there are some segments of the market which are still very conservative, which work offline. It's not just our opinion, it's just it's a fresh opinion, and Chen says that there are B2B markets which are very conservative, but they're multi-billion markets. If you look at the statistical of investment, almost $9 billion were invested into marketplaces, and this is still the place which attracts a lot of resources of investment. So what we see while we do it, the problem is very simple. It's just this is what .com businesses were doing, and online, of course, it's a new markets attracting new clients. It's new online selling channels, and B2B, a lot of mediators, exporters, importers, traders, and a lot of expenses, transactions. Logistics can be very inefficient. So what we give them? It sounds strange as it sounds. We have two value propositions. This is first of all, getting into new markets and using new channels like online, and decrease expenses on every stage of the business life cycle. It was so clever, why nobody has ever done it before? But if you look before us, it's just a whole cemetery of startups who tried B2B markets with the fish and seafood market, all failed. Why? Every time when somebody tried to just offer IT solution, industries say we don't need IT solutions. We're happy with what we're doing or have been doing. Then we started using as a regular trader and try and test our solutions. We've been on the market for 4 years. We work with the 7 countries with a $14 million turnover with $300,000 profit, and we just implement. We understand that this approach has one problem, scaling. In order to grow, we have to open new stores, new outlets to increase our logistics, expand our logistics. And this year we had a pivot, and we get to the SaaS model when we sell white label solutions to companies. We use their service, and for the rest of the market we prepare the system of subscription. So it's like looking for hotels. So we work to B2B large wholesale market. The market is huge, and these are the data about European Union because it's our focus market. We try to work there. And the Russian sea food market is about 10 billion rubles, American 35 billion dollars, and we will work based on these two models, subscription and transaction model. And we have a number of competitors, and we were happy that we have these competitors, because when 4 years ago, when there was no competitors, it was a very alarming signal. Now we have more and more competitors, and we are moving in this market, and from offline to online. The main company is GFresh. It's Alibaba sister company, which they invested $20 million, but they work only in Chinese market, and they are not interested in anything in China, because China has $65 million of turnover. And our strategy is very simple because B2B is direct sales. You just go to the office of the company, talk to somebody in the company, and your system starts working. So we try also to organize email inbound marketing, and our purpose is to sell 150 licenses next year. Our clients are the companies of hotels, catering businesses, distributors, and producers. And two such channels are transaction model, when we take from transaction some money for logistics, for choosing clients, for promotional product for the custom clients, and of course subscription, when company pays for some kind of functionality online windows. And as for our financial model, our penetration into the European market requires quite serious investment. We are scaling our marketing, and in 3 years we plan to return our money to investors. As a development instrument, according to our research, we conducted a survey of 400 biggest companies in Brussels exhibition. Less than 1% of companies use online as the channel of distribution. Why, we ask? And they say, well, we haven't thought about it. The analytical services foresee that in the next 5 years there will be a big change in the market. For us it's a big possibility because we'll grow with the market. And remind you, now we work about the seafood market, but also meat market, fruit market, vegetable market, flower market, which we talked today already. Everything which I've been telling before that it's not interesting. Most important is here, because these are the people who founded this company. So these people are drivers in which you have to believe as investor. And these are our partners, and they believe in us because we attracted investment from Europe. We have a big European partner from Barcelona. We have Pulsar venture capital, and we're ready to work in Ireland as well. We attract about $700,000, and most of them we use for marketing, and we have to support our R&D. Thank you very much. I'm ready to answer your questions. Why did we begin from seafood? Very simple. My partner, he worked in 12 years in Ruskое море and Meridian companies. He put them into IPOs. So his specialization is seafood products. This is his specialty and his professional background. And how do not we work in neighboring markets, meat market, fruit market, flower market? These markets are identical. They're regulated markets, and the issues only the questions about their size and their geography. So in different regions, the consumption of food different from meat, fish, and vegetables, but from the business model is the same, and the mentality of these people is politically disinterested, basically the same. And current partners and clients are where? Morocco, Mauritania, Ecuador, Baltic countries. Now we are moving to the French and Spanish markets. Are you talking only about perishable food markets? From the viewpoint of IT side, for us it doesn't matter. We work with fish and seafood products, because we have expertise. We can start selling flowers from tomorrow. Flower is not a perishable food, perishable product. So how quickly can your business model be copied? So how much time you have before your business model will be copied, and what can catch you up and kill? We have some about 1 year, if you measure it in the time units. So it's the time if somebody would like to copy our solution. It's just time to create IT solution and try it gradually get into the market. Why do you think your IT solution is unique and how well your competitors? So let's get to this table. The uniqueness of solution is that it covers all stages of the deal. It's like a complete business product. If we talk about the business, it's some kind of agreements with key clients which we have now, and our strategy is to penetrate as deep as possible into the business. There's the integration with RB systems, because if we penetrate very deeply into the business processes, our competitors will not be able to kick us out, like Salesforce, and if they penetrate into business of existing company. For company, it will be more expensive to retrain personnel if they want to switch to some different IT solutions. So it takes about 1 year to copy us. Antonio, why do you need to go to other markets? Seafood is a great market with traditional conservative approaches which you can develop in Russia. Why do you want to scale into neighboring scale? I'm not going to scale, but we'll go to the neighboring segments only in efficient seafood products. We have Dmitry, but tomorrow somebody comes to me from flowers and meat market. With great pleasure, we will help these people if they're ready to work in there. But it takes a lot of investment into people, into development, into communication with these partners. And in the summer here in Kazan, we had a strategic session of our colleagues who work in distribution of seafood, and they said, listen, the marketplace for small and medium business of fish, it's a huge market, but they can't get access there. So why go somewhere away? It's just very expensive. Yeah, I agree with you completely. I don't want to go there. If you get the business partner who's ready to do it as a business developer from the IT viewpoint, it's ready. So Sergey, probably during the last year we had a lot of situations. What are you going to do in the seafood industry? And the partnership model will be possible. And partnership model is just simply give software and people just do something with some conditions. Like the main focus is on efficient. Well, we'll talk separately about it, yes, so we can just help you. Right. So thank you, Anton. Thank you very much. So have a good day. So we'll give floor to switch sales. Leonid. Good morning, my name is Leonid Mamikin. I am Director for Development of the Switch Sales product. And all trading companies want to increase their turnover and profit, but as you know, that consumers are not interested in it, they don't care. So this is the statistic of the Nielsen company in how many loyalty programs you participate. Statistics is appalling, 48%, and unfortunately, so it's right there, 48% of consumers don't participate in their loyalty program. 14% participate in one program, and 32% participate from 2 to 5. If you put these numbers together, you can understand that for the small and medium business, the biggest problem is to communicate with consumers. 94% of programs are not interested in participation in the support programs. They don't like to fill the questionnaires. They don't like these plastic cards, mobile applications, and they don't like to give their mobile telephone number. So these are retailer expectations. so they issue plastic cards, applications, and they think that they're the only ones on the market. But in reality, consumers don't need it, they don't use it, because they already have enough of it around them. So for small medium business, the only solution is to remove these unnecessary and disliked instruments. And our solution is switch sales. Switch sales helps small and medium business to increase the coverage of involvement of the customers, because automatically they take into account all consumers with their bank plastic card. They don't have to fill any documents, leave personal data, download applications, and they don't have to give the information about the bank cards. And the retailers don't have to change any equipment, and they don't have to change the algorithm of buying and selling for the cashiers and for the buyers. So in order to participate in this retailer enrollment program, you just have to pay with your bank card. Just keep doing what you're accustomed to. And so now business has a choice: either change nothing and continue using their POS terminal for cashless payments, or connect our software and increase this system. It's a personal remuneration for the it's very convenient for payments and for customers. To connect to switch sales is very simple. Retailer fills online application, then our partner bank remotely connects it to existing POS to the switch sales, and retailer gets access to the account in which you can set everything for specific buyer. So these are our results for 2018, and now we have about more than 2,800 terminals in cities in Russia. The key partners, it's Local Bank, it's the Standard Bank, and it's number 2 is in Russia. And so these are the ones. And our solution, here on the right, works on the 3 leading producers, the leading 3, so it's about 80% of the market. Our profit was about $250,000. This is our team, and we have huge experience in retail, and Google, McKinsey, Fujitsu, and Yandex. And our advisor, Tom Tsuka, has been working as the Director of Development, Business Development, and Innovation Payment System, MasterCard Europe. This is our investment request. We expect investments $1.5 million in the third quarter, and by 2020 we plan profit $24 million, and by the end of the year more than 24. And so these are our solutions are supported by 3 leading vendors,
such as Verifone and Jenica Parks in the market, which we are working as a global one. These 3 are providing for the covering 80% of the market. They are very similar, and the solution is actually working at every device, at every vendor's place. What we are trying to come to in year 2019 and be launching our service with existing partners in Latin America and in Europe. There is a PAX vendor. Let me stop separately at scaling with our respective vendor. PAX is the third one in top 3, is the third player. The point of sales terminal sales globally. At the year 2017, they sold 6.5 million. When PAX will start selling our devices independently, the conversion will lead to 6%, and the sales will be $368 for a separate terminal of PAX brand. And why did I stop on PAX? because in June of this year, tax delegation has visited us in the office. They had a delegation headed by Director General Jack Blue. In the office, we have presented our service. Tax was very much interested to connect their terminals and start the distribution on their equipment. So it happened that our Director General is traveling to Shenzhen, the headquarters of Tax, to sign an approved contract on distribution. You see my contacts here. I would be grateful if you would give me feedback on presentation, and keeping in mind the path that we went through and the results, I believe we'll be able to reach the results. Our goal by 2023 will be 850,000 connected post terminals and $300 million of sales of income. Stupid question. You are taking the post terminal. Are you installing some soft on this point of sale terminal? No. Our solution is becoming the part of the software of the vendor. It's basically software. If you take a smartphone, Apple or Android, maybe Apple would be a better example. What we are offering is we are building an application inside the operating system, but you are doing it, right? That's exactly what I mean. It's not a separate software. You are creating the soft element, the vendor is introducing it, and I'm coming and to pay just like paying with a card. How does it end up? You are in the CRM contact or the system of the vendor. There's no phone. We are not using data of your banking cards. We don't know your telephone. We only know about your ID, certain hash of your card, the history of your purchases. And what can be done with that later? It allows the possibility without using your personal data, because your phone number is just the possibility to communicate with you directly. Your name doesn't give anything in the veterinary ID. It's the same ID. The main element is the pool of the buyers, the coverage of the buyers. Some 50% are paying with cards. If out of 1,000 buyers, 500 are ending up in the CRM with a history of the information about the average check, the various kind of bonus points for coming on Monday at 9 a.m. That allows to increase the sales for 10-15% because buyers start coming again. The average check is growing. You paid, for example, you were told that you had 1,500, but you are paying 1,200 because we gave you bonus points. Is that how it's working more or less? I guess in a simplified manner, let it be that way. I'm the client, I'm coming and paying with the card. You type a determine, the check is printed out. The check, right, again, the retailer has set up certain bonus points. You are coming first time. We are giving you small bonus. Please come again. We will give you more bonuses. You can only spend them here. And this connection to the CRM system, is that yours, or are you using the ready-made CRM systems? Retailer CRM system, is it yours or what? We are giving personal room. We are providing software as a service, connecting the terminal. Retailer gets access to the personal. I'm a retailer. I'm sitting in my own store saying, let's say Sergey will come over, or new clients, and we'll be giving this a 10% discount. Where am I doing this? In our personal. So basically, in this sense, you are a loyalty system which is integrated with the cashier's point of sale software, etc. and CRM system. Not exactly a loyalty system. There is the international formulation is value-added service. My question is, what are you doing technically? Where is this loyalty system? Are you a loyalty system, or is it communication rules are described in your system, right? So the points are being is on some points on your side, and I'm seeing analytics as the retailer. What are your sales? 250,000 US dollars. That's not turnover. That's actually your revenue. Choose for okay, revenue. Good. Let us, I guess, then maybe talk later with great pleasure. Thank you. And I have a question. You are intending to work with the Chinese that are producing point of sale terminal. For them to write this, it's 2 months. They would work with you for 2 months. In 2 months' time, they'll have their own system. I guess I would respond to you that it's not that simple, but you won't be satisfied, so I'd have to go into more details. This market is very interesting. It reminds certain patchwork blanket. It's very, very segmented. PAX is obviously a global player, undoubtedly. But let's take a look at the way the system is organized in the Russian market. There's VTB Bank. VTB Bank has some 4 to 5 vendors, and PAX is one of them. When the retailer is connecting to the bank acquiring, VTB Bank can supply the equipment of various vendors, sometimes up to 4 or 5 different times. What we are doing is we are covering this patchwork blanket that works in PAX and Verifone and Genica. How does VTB work today? It takes our service, it sells, it's acquiring to the merchant, and on top of this is selling the connection to our service for a second fee. And one retailer might have both Genica, Verifone, and PAX terminals, and that way the retailer is covering all of its needs in this CRM system because it's multi-vendor. You talked about the Russian patchwork blanket and the conversion of PAX sales. It's probably about the vendors where they are the only equipment provider. Well, what I'm describing here with PAX is the signing of the approved agreement, and our Director General is flying to China tomorrow. The essence of the agreement is in distribution. PAX takes our service and it starts selling terminals with certain conversion. If they are selling 6.5 million a year, based on our experience, the number of conversion will be about 6%. The question, this 6% of conversion means that 6% of the terminals of PAX can be sold with your system. Now this 6% is probably being sold not to the ones who have this patchwork with them. These are the vendors of these terminals. They are probably selling it to those who only rely on PAX equipment. That's actually more complex because they are not selling solutions directly coming to the merchants and giving their terminals. It doesn't work that way. At every market, including Russian one, there are plenty of integrator companies and various acquiring service banks. And if we move this model to the Russian market again, PAX, I guess let's take a look at the VTB example. PAX is selling their devices, supplying to VTB. VTB with acquiring services are supplying these devices to the merchant. The merchant is connecting the terminal to our service, or VTB is selling directly the terminal that's connected to our service. And they are getting the merchant fee. That would be working similarly at other markets because the solution is multi-vendor one. Because PAX works in many countries, there are other vendors as well. Dear colleagues, it's about time. We will soon be having coffee break. Now inviting Czech scan for the presentation, Mr. Valery Garayev. Good morning. My name is Valery Garayev, representing checks can be helpful for buyers, effective tool for the producer of goods as well as retail networks. The check scan has simple mechanics. Our users are scanning QR code from the check upon the purchases, and thus saving the check electronically. We are processing everything that is available on the check, the data in place of the purchase or the positions, their total sum. That way, start creating a database of the top vehicle prices as well as goods available in various sales points for our current users. The check scan for them is the possibility to store checks electronically and track their expenses, find profitable posts and profitable prices, as well as not to pay more when they are buying, and tracking the change of prices. Our data science specialists have done significant amount of work, and then now users can have access to the segment statistics. They can track their costs by the end of the week, by specific goods, by specific locations, etc. Now, we are collecting information about regular purchases and personal preferences of our users. This information is being used by us to work with the producers of goods as well as with networks, for whom we have developed CheckScan platform. CheckScan platform allows generating two types of promo campaigns. One is promotion and the other one is communication. One of the mechanics is a priority issue in the search results, or promoting specific goods to the specific users that are buying something similar baskets and might also be interested in the promoted product. The results of the campaign can be tracked in real time, controlling certain conclusions, and be introducing any kind of corrections. In September, we have run promo campaigns with two regional producers of foodstuffs. Currently in the process of negotiation, fine-tuning the mechanics of the promotion campaign with large pharmaceutical producers as well as other producers of foodstuffs. We certainly have competitors, but we are attractively distinguished from them by the fact that we have real prices, not just auctions data, as well as the possibility of personal promotion. Current status, the app is available free of charge for both iOS and Android platforms. At the moment, we have 50,000 users, the doubling every 2 months. Our database of goods has 400,000 unique lines, and the CheckScan platform is at the last stage of development. We later intend to add the data on the goods, on the auction goods, as well as at the end of this month we'll start having a cashback system. Thank you very much for your attention. I'll be happy to respond to your questions. Really? Can you please tell us how did you get those 50,000 clients, how much money did you spend, and the separate level of integration with stores to get their checks on the information on the tracking of users. We didn't invest into marketing. We got that as a result of organic growth. Could you please are you having any kind of integration with the store, with the point of sales, the cash terminal? No integration is taking place. You are getting the data out of the federal tax authorities database. Question: what is your monetization? How do you build your business? We plan to earn money by offering our platform to the producers of goods as well as retail networks for them to be able to promote their goods, or we can even offer white label solutions for their loyalty program. If you would like to have it separately based on our developments, we can organize white label solutions too. Do you have any plans to interact with the previous startup? Switch sales, which is have similar solutions. We are of course happy to have any cooperation, but we didn't yet speak to switch sales so far. Thank you very much, Valery. If no more questions, the next startup. We are now inviting bridge company. Vladislav, the floor is yours. Good morning. My name is Vladislav from Bridge. In Bridge, we are creating a payment system for legal entities using decentralized technologies. At the moment, companies that have over 50 million rubles of turnover having difficulties with integration of payment systems into integration system, the ERP, CRM, etc. Another challenge we encountered was the trans-border financial wiring money, expensive loan, etc. And how are we resolving this in Bridge? We are relying on the existing legislation of the Russian Federation in the securities aspects, as well as regulatory requirements of the Central Bank of the Russian Federation. We are intending to become participant of the regulatory sandbox. I'll talk about this later, and this will give us certain advantages on the aspect of countering money laundering, and using blockchain. We are developing a payment system. The way it works for the end client is that the legal entity is transferring funds. We are depositing it to a special account at the emission center of the partner bank and emitting equivalent number of securities.
And legal entity uses it in their everyday works. They can give it to other legal entities or companies. And now we automated this system. We have the hardware system, which is just the obligations, and we can do it without any papers, without any hard copies, and just and finally, legal entity just sends it to the bank, and bank sends money to the account of the participant of this bank system. Right now, we have implemented the all technical functionality, so we've done all interfaces, integrate with the banks, the reports, financial reports. We coordinate our work with the central bank, and then showcase our technology. We've done this integration with the Telegram, which allows us to our final clients to show how you can be integrated with external information system. We show them so you can transfer your money just from your company to somebody who's next to you. They say, yes, it's interesting. They understand. We explain to them how you can continue this integration of this technology into the existing information system, a system of sending money, any financial instruments. And right now the size of the volume is 30,000 companies with a turnover of 35 million rubles. And we work with them through the call center. We call them, we show them, explain to them. We plan to connect webinars. The price of attracting clients is from 300 to 600 rubles. We're happy with this, and our numbers are quite good. And efficient. We are very close to launching the project. We invite clients, we show them, we try to build in, and we try to explain to them the values which we can give to the companies. And I would like to stress that we work very closely with the central bank. We work in the working groups with the regulatory mechanisms in order to develop the rules and regulations in terms of special laws against the money laundering, so that our system cannot do it for the criminal purposes. The income is generated quite simply. We share depository income with the bank and take some money for sending and getting money from the payment system. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer your question. So when do you plan to, how many legal entities do you plan to start with? About 100. We negotiated with 100. We saw the big interest in the system, and we decided that we just slow down a little bit, and because we need to clarify certain issues with the central bank and the legal terms and regulations, so we had to finish this negotiation because we have market, we have clients, but we want to be transparent and legal so that and very useful and clear to understand for our clients and our partners. So that's why I hope that our potential partners and banks and colleagues will finish all these technicalities in the next few months, and we'll be ready to start working. So if you we are ready. We're ready to work. Vladisłav, who are your competitors? Well, the biggest competitor of ours is a traditional payment system. It's a best and how we're working. And what's your competitive advantage? We provide 20,000 developers already have experience of working with Ethereum, and they can integrate it into the existing system, the payment system. We have one more competitor, the Gazprom Bank Digital, API Bank, but they have different course, plan of actions. They force clients to open their accounts, and they just give them API of their bank account management. So we just have different approach. Why they're not happy with the SWIFT? 50 million, 50 billion for SWIFT. 50 billion. Well, SWIFT is, we're happy with SWIFT, but if you have 150 payments a day, but if you have more, and if they need to be automated, for example, by fueling the airliner, you fuel the aircraft and then you get the money. So you need instrument which can do it faster. The RP system is a big client which pays 50 million rubles, so you pay for again fueling airplanes, and they're integrated with the SWIFT. It's automatic. No. SWIFT is not cheap. No. But if you pay a lot, SWIFT is free, more or less. Oh yeah, just for individual it will be $40, but for the big company, if you pay 23 times a month, and if you pay $10 for one transaction. Okay, so for example, they pay for SWIFT 5 times times 10, so $50. So look, we provide interface to access of this payment functionality, and this is one of the problems which is not solved at all. API Bank is trying to solve it, but right now it cannot be solved, or it must be a human accountant who just look into two computers and just working on it. No, you're just telling me on the level of just a regular client, and if you are integrated with the bank directly, you don't have any problems if you work with the bank directly. We are not talking about the company, just some abstract company with someone who put the accountant. And we're talking about a big retailer. They have good bank integration, and banks, I'm sure, they will give them like, okay. Yeah, I agree. The good retailers, they have good integration. But our clients are from 15 million to 1 billion. What is small and medium business? I really would like to look at your business model, so how can you make money with it? Any more questions? In the description of the problems, which you use, so that you solve problem of the investment in Brazil and cryptocurrency from the bank account of a legal entity. How can you do it? This is one of the cases of how to use it from the legal viewpoint. In this payment system, we have securities, and so from the technological viewpoint, there are tokens, and these tokens can be exchanged in any international exchange to any other tokens. So in this way you can using quite standard instruments, you can invest into other ICOs. And as for the accounting of these things, really in our accounting we have it, and we can explain it to companies how to do it in real accounting, in a traditional accounting. I hope I answered your question. I will talk about it later. Yes. We need to talk more about it. It's just, and thank you very much for your questions, and thank you for. It's probably time for a coffee break, which we have in our program, so that we can talk more about it with each other and with the companies. So the coffee break will be short, just about 10-15 minutes, and so that we can talk about. Yes, thank you. Coffee break.
Всем большое. Коллеги, продолжаем.
Dear colleagues, we are continuing the program of our event. I'm now inviting you to come back, take your seats at the table for us to be able to start the next session.
Коллеги, пожалуйста, рассаживаемся.
Dear colleagues, please be seated. We are beginning. I'm now inviting B-Trip, Vlad Tkachov, to deliver the presentation. Dear colleagues, please be seated. We are beginning.
We are continuing our pitch sessions and growth stage companies, same time limits, 12 minutes for company. We'll stay within these time frames which will help us to get acquainted with startups. Vlad Tkachuk, my name is Vlad, and let's just get a little bit more drive because we talk about project is about people who travel and B-Trip, and we would like this all of your trips and your routes be more interesting, more attractive, and I would like to tell you how we do it. a little story. It happened to me. I like traveling very much, and I went to Europe with my friends, and we rented a car. And it just happened that we were lost in the Alps, and we lost the internet connection, and we were not able to use Google Navigator. We got lost. We didn't understand where to go. We had just map, regular map, paper map, and these 4 hours which we lost trying to get back on our route, we understood what is very important. When we were using Google Navigator, we were using only main roads. We were driving 120 kilometers an hour, going very fast, and we didn't see anything around us. When we were lost and when we had to look for our way, we saw beautiful lakes, so wonderful, nice villages and small little towns, and we understood that this route was much more interesting. So we tried to go to Google and look at the possibility to navigate not through the shortest routes, but through the most interesting ones. Well, we didn't find it. Now, I'd like to tell you about the start of the problem. We spend too much time on planning. I'm sure that anybody of you who planned the route try to go to internet and see where exactly you want to go and where you really would like to go and see what you want to see. So what sightseeing, museums, exhibitions, whatever, and you spend a lot of time to do that. So what's the solution? There is a service which builds up your personalized route. So you look at the social nets, there is a lot of information about your likes and dislikes, what your music to listen to, who are your friends, and anything which you need to know about you, it's in the social network. We just have to analyze it. The social net analysis played a key role. We understand that we can analyze not only you, but the places which you hashtag or you Twitter it with the geotags. And we collected geotags all over the Europe and part of the United States and analyzed where are the biggest concentration of the comments and positive comments, and we understand that probably these are the most interesting attractive places for the tourists, and we'll build a routes personalized which go through these places. The analysis platform is analyze the social process, analyze the emotions which you get which you visit certain place, and recommendations of these sites. So what we analyze right now, we analyze personal preferences, the weather. We really don't want you to embed weather to be in the open spaces. We analyze number of comments, rating, the distances. We don't want you to go far away from the optimum route, but just make it 2 hours or more. Of course, you go to the city, I want to go for a walk for 2 hours, you press start and you have the navigation in the city. I want to go from Paris to Milan, press start and the application builds. Your route may be 2 hours longer, but much more interesting. And so our clients are the tourists and people who will drive and use this navigator. These aggregators, from the very beginning of my presentation, I said that we rented a car. There is a problem for the people who give you the car, rent you out. They give you a vehicle for 2 weeks or $400. You spend these people can't make more money. We give a chance to make more money for rental companies, which we can share the profit which will people make money inside of our application. And of course the guides, because we have very interesting stories. When you go to some city, you come to some city and want somebody to show you this site. So we surveyed about 6,000 people on forums, touristic websites in different countries, and the question is very simple. Do you need an application on the personalized route making? And 86% of people said yes, so yeah, we can make money. As for the number of users, we have 32,000 users. We didn't do any advertisement. We just were asking on forums so that people download it and ask their opinion. We let people go to beta testing, and in this way we can collect people. These are people who send us some comments or pieces of advice how to improve. As for the market, more than $15 billion. It's one of the biggest markets and growing markets in the world. People like traveling, and it's becoming more comfortable, more usual $257 million. This is the market of the tourist assistance, and we would like to get 5% of this market in there. It's about $15 million. How we make money? So this is internal purchasing. It's tracks, and we have tracks on the abandoned buildings. So you get a track in abandoned buildings, and we just go and use this. It's offline. That's because not people have internet access, and it's personalized. You can build a route not only for you, but also for your friends. So unit economies of 48 rubles per user and 350 rubles for one user 1 year, and the growth of our number of our users 270% without advertisement. As for the B2B, the car rental companies, these are the filling stations, because companies which fast food companies, because you definitely have to eat somewhere, and hotels, companies which provide some residence services. The economy is saying 10% of this sales. It's a typical, and the average bill, I said, is about $10 to $50. And so these are our partners, University Innopolis Association of Guides in European, and we negotiate with these companies, and we hope they'll become our partners, and we hope everything will be better. Our mentor is Neo Lorenzo, who is the green startup founder in Italy, and Milo Matza in the Polish University. Competitors, most interesting slide. In Russia, we talk about a double D's company. There's something called Map Speed, something like that, but they don't build automated personalized routes. Michelin company in the 80s, in the 60s, they just put all these routes into their guidebooks. They said it's a great way to integrate, but the routes are changing. There's no personalization. And the Spotted by Locals, they collect content, they don't analyze, and it's just kind of a vicious circle how they get that content. We have 32,000 users, 63 guides, a lot of active users. In 2019, we plan to have 1 million users, and the 10 million profit is planned. We get a team. We have 5 people, business technologists, people who can invite partners. I will tell you everything which you need. What we look for, we need people, salespeople is very important. We look for people who are connected with marketing. We need masters, investors, investment. We are looking for 15 million rubles, maybe just in 3 pieces, 4 million, 5 and 6 million. How we use in the slides, the development, testing, and it's just testing of our ideas. Tune your trip into adventure. Thank you very much. Use BitTrip, and I hope I'll see your emails in my application. Thank you. Thank you. Questions? What's your investment proposal? As I said, we're looking for 15 million rubles for 15%. Questions? If you don't have any questions, right? So the company is very actively looking for partnership with European investments and European funds. Investors show a lot of interest in business partnership and investments. That's why. In the nearest future, yes, we're planning to leave Russia with our plans, and so if you want to discuss it, so please, yes, just indicate it in your questionnaire. So thank you very much, Bob. Next is company Mouse. George, that's your presentation. The calls, the friends, and my name is Georgi. I'm the operational director of the Mouse company, and I'm the organizer of different events from 2014. I know that many of you who just visit different kind of musical events and use, but participants. It wasn't difficult for you and for us, the organizers. The musical market has a lot of minefields and pitfalls. In the musical market, we have four main segments. So the artist himself, whether it's a band or some performer, for whom it's difficult to find audience and you want to expand it. Of course, the concert hall, a venue, a nightclub or whatever for which it is important to plan concerts. So these are organizers, the person behind organizing events and who bears the reputation for responsibilities, and fans who would like to enjoy their favorite artists but very often don't have time or money to go. And our solution is to organize the centralized platform MOUSE, which would unite all these four market systems, which with use of MOUSE you'll be able to find and organize any event, find partners or partners, or find investments. And the MOUSE platform provides for artists to find and expand its audience and ability to get proposals for concert for the venues. MOUSE helps to analyze market and to look at proposals for the rental. The venues for organizers can foresee and forecast risks and financial results of the event. And interesting possibilities for the fans. As fans can invite their favorite artists to their city, and they can organize this concert as augmented reality. Augmented reality, it's a market trend, and we took it into account. And MOUSE gives opportunity to put on the augmented reality glasses, and you can watch it from any part of the world. With crowdfunding, we can collect necessary investment for the music event. The market of MOUSE is $32 billion annual size of the market. In 3 years, we plan to have 5% of this market using the following strategy, using the referral company, working with the big brands, organizing partnership with the musical festivals. The income part of MOUSE, the percentage of the leasing or renting, and its percentage from crowdfunding, and selling online and offline tickets. We have 1,000 users which we test, and we calculated the cost of attracting the users, and the most profitable is of course attracting artists and giving them venue. Our competitors, the MOUSE provides the integrated solutions for these issues. We put together possibilities for EVR and crowdfunding. Our company is presented by people, we have 18 people, and we have Ilya Karas, he is in the United States, our technical director, Sinor Middleton, and I am Georgi Arefiev. And in Moscow, we have signed agreements with the 50 artists, with the 30 sites and 20 organizers. Our partners are such companies, 2x2, MTV, and different big media holdings, and like I said, and some others. In the United States, we have a partnership with a big holding, Universal Music, and mentors with Hyperloop. And we have such popular artists as Quest Pistols, Banderas, and some others. And now we have $200,000 out of which $60,000 we got from foundations, and in 2018 we got 120, and now we have preliminary agreement for investment of $150,000 in 2019. Looking for partnership, looking for some kind of contacts and connections and co-investment next year. Thank you very much for your attention. MOUSE, we create new rounds of music. Thank you, George. The questions maybe? The company is working very actively in the market and attracts enthusiasts from the musical industry and marketplace, traditional marketplace, and company has a big potential on the market in Europe and Asia and United States and China, in Japan. Russia historically is our platform to perform, to perfect our business processes and try and test our business models. And right now company has plans to launch in Moscow, and after that move on to further. If you have questions or want to discuss something, go ahead. Thank you very much. The next company is Sergey Mitrofanov. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Sergey Mitrofanov. I'm founder and head of the company Desk for Work. Desk for Work, it's how in our modern world and modern technological world you can find a quickly and efficiently comfortable and convenient working place where you can work after 2 or 3 hours before or after meeting with the clients. Looks like there is no such problem, and co-working industry allows to have such solutions, and in the area where you frequently visit. But if you come to Kazan once a year, so what you're going to do? The co-working industry is growing, and it's very good. It gives possibility to get more and more comfortable workplaces which are waiting for people who travel a lot in the world, who travel a lot outside their traditional lifestyle. Co-working has a problem that this quick growth and low popularity among mobile professionals and professional market. It leads to that 30% of its working places are not occupied. So this is the statistics for European co-working. 30% of places are not occupied, and these are not places which will be filled with residents. At the same time, people who travel a lot, who work on the client's territory, they have to, after meeting, they have to look for the nearest coffee shop because they don't have such solutions. And I've asked more than 100 potential users of our application. So we see that these are problems of our clients, and they come across this situation once a week. What we did, we created a project Desk for Work, which allows you to book a nice and comfortable workplace, and the built-in algorithm of the artificial intelligence helps you not just find the nearest chair, but the environment which is comfortable and nice for you. Because one of the peculiarities of developing co-working, it's the creation of a unique atmosphere for residents. And aliens sometimes who violates some rules or breaks this laws, and it's a competitive market which makes me happy. And unfortunately, what we have in the market now, it's and I've been doing. Well, I'm trying to make my life better. I'm a mobile professional, and sometimes I'm not happy with what I see.
And because the majority of them are looking for something long-term booking, or they are co-working oriented, trying to sell that to a client. Well, what does the Desk for Work has to offer? What's our unique value proposition? We are allowing the linking, the co-working, the visitor, for the benefit to the visitor, which provides for better satisfaction to both parties. And the other aspect, in parallel with the networks, we are seeing the growth of independent co-works that are growing. Nice locations. Last week I had a simple meeting in the small Irish city of Gori that was interested in having a unique value proposition, because Gori is not the place where millions are coming every day, but that's potential interesting place. We looked at the market We talked with the dozens of co-works in here, Russia, in Europe, in the United States, and they understand that 50% of those who are coming there on a daily basis will be temporary visitors, and not tenants, and that's for whom our solution is. Among them are consultants, insurance agents, possibly freelancers, but maybe less work with the corporate travel departments that are in the companies that are sending their staff on business trips to provide for convenient work. Our simple monetization model, a commission from booking, the interaction from co-works, they are ready to give us 20%. Attracting one visitor costs, for example, about 10 euros. In 2 years time frame, we are having a relatively good result per one visitor, while scaling will allow us automatically engage co-workers and some integration with co-working management systems, and we have talked with Nexodus and One companies, and they are ready to integrate our widget into their solutions. Economics and prospects are quite good. This is indeed large market in Europe. Few million people are traveling every day. This is our target audience, people we'll be working with. We start with Europe. Russian market is our testing market. We are launching beta testing in coming days. Then we intend to be developing corporate dimension and then moving to across the ocean as well as to Asia. The team is wonderful, just like in case of others who presented here. I have more 20 years of work in marketing and sales in Russia and abroad. Sven Nisterov, even though young, but I guess the early starter, he has a great experience of launching small projects when he was studying in the Moscow State Physics and Technology Institute, and he might become a leader in the company. And Yekaterina Dmitrieva, more than 10 years of experience of developing complex technological projects, which allows us to grow effectively. And secondly, we are working actively with representatives of the market. Among mentors and advisors, we have Eamon Sayers, representatives of Guinness Enterprise Center. We have already agreed that once beta testing will be done, our system will be rolled out in 40 locations in Ireland that are related to Guinness Enterprise Center. The first start we do with the Start co-work, and Ramil Mukhtasarov agreed to become the advisor and showing how to do this properly in Russia, as well as Bayram Nakov is the CEO and founder of App in the Air that is bringing together a few millions of people, frequent travelers, ready to integrate and give advice how to work with frequently traveling people. We need to do 250,000 euro to start active growth next year in the European market to integrate with co-working management systems. We understand very well that our app should be growing quickly and actively. We understand that the exit strategies are various systems, cloud, corporate, or booking systems that might become potential buyers of our app at a later stage. I want to thank you. I believe that the Desk for Work would teach those who are looking co-works as the place for startuppers and snoozies into a place that is useful and convenient to work for a few hours. Thank you. Thank you, Sergey. Dear colleagues, any questions? If you're getting ready for the questions, I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that both in case of Desk for Work and the other companies, the necessary amount of investments are the rounds we intend to share. We are planning of investing into these companies. The startups are not only looking for investment at the open market, we do plan to co-invest, and the goals of today and our joint work of fundraising is to be attracting funds from smart money, partners from businesses, from industry, private source that could be good partners and mentors for the company. Company has good potential at the international market, which is why we are actively looking at this story. And we as investors are interested in the fact that running a pilot in Russia would be relatively cheap and easy, both from the product development and whatever. That's why we are preparing the PCI, etc., to work in 2019 in Europe. Dear colleagues, do you have any questions? Yes, hello. You spoke a lot about why coworkers need this, and that seems to be reasonable and clear. The question is, why would people need this? Why is it better than having a meeting in a cafeteria and cafe? I understand that you have certain number of regular users. What are they speaking about the app? Why are they using it regularly? What's the value for them? I didn't hear this. We actually have developed a proposal for the visitors of the a friend of mine once said, sorry, I'm very sorry that you're not working. I had to go to a cafeteria. And I'm hearing this regularly because I'm the member of the international group of consultants. You were doing a brainstorm, and these are people who are tired of cafeterias. You're not talking about meetings. A meeting at the restaurant is something, say, important. Talking about going to work, you got tired of Starbucks and restaurants as well. I'm talking about I'm leaving the meeting for the client. I need to sit down and maybe improve the proposal or think something through and organize the Skype conference with colleagues. You won't be able to do that in the restaurant. Even though I talked with the restaurateurs, number of who are working in the medium price segment, they do see a possibility of creating, say, calm, comfortable zones for such people who like to work in the restaurant. That is a potential site that we would be engaging as partners. And how many permanent regular users do you have now? None. We are launching beta. I have already 150 people who are ready to work with us, people whom I know, the alumni of Higher School of Economics. They will be helping me to figure out the final details. The system is built relatively natively based on the audience, the needs of the audience we are looking at. The mobile professionals that are actively traveling, I think many of you are part of it, but I know that some 20% will say that I will go to the restaurant because I want to eat. So no questions, you want to eat, you go to the restaurant. If you need to work, you'll be using the Desk for Work app to find comfortable workplace. Thank you. Thanks, Sergey. I'm now inviting Three's Acts. Maxim? Good afternoon. My name is Maxim Avdienko. I'm the founder of the Trim Systems. Our company is doing the systems for stabilization systems for boats and speedboats. Why do speedboats need dynamic stabilization? Because when moving, there are plenty of kind of forces affecting the waves, the wind, the center of gravity is changing. That's obviously reflecting on their stability, and to compensate for that, you need a dynamic stabilization system that will be getting rid of it in the real time. Use of such system would allow increase the comfort and the safety of the movement, improve various other operational characteristics of the water vehicle. At this system, we are showing the scheme of the stabilization system that has a number of key elements, interceptors that are installed on the speedboat, allow you to control the tilting elements, etc. Let's consider them as the wing elements on the plane. Then obviously electronics, that inertia, gyroscope, accelerometer, etc., tracking angles, allowing you to choose the optimal ones, and setting the control system. The use of this solution allows to improve the characteristics, the speed, the stability, decreasing fuel consumption. This system is not new. Interceptors are used on ships, on various kind of water vehicles beginning year 2000. The main producers are Swedes. And when formulating the task of the product, we were looking at the needs of the market. We were to create the product that would be satisfying the interesting in the price category. We will have a long-term service life, relatively long-term service life. And based on this, we're modeling our product, and we got a product that is not worse than in characteristics than the competitors have, and better in the key ones. How did we get to this? We have developed the structure of the interceptor. Which allows to exclude the frequent problems of Swedish interceptors, such as we are using a simpler mechanism that doesn't allow for the appearance of such challenges. We are having an automatic control system, plus we are using relatively large data, introducing all the characteristics of the boat and accounting for those and using those. Talking about the market for respective devices can be broken down into two categories. First would be new boats and speedboats. We are now tightly interacting with producers because European trends show that the majority of the boats are being sold with interceptors. So then when the client is coming to buy boat, they are recommended to buy the speedboat together with interceptors. This market is about 1 million high-speed boats produced a year. Of them, about 700,000 that can be equipped with interceptors. Another large market are the speedboats that are already in operation, since the product is not has certain kind of life cycle. Thus we are looking at the 5 years time frame, after which it would need to have some maintenance. Thus we are looking to work with dealers as well as other networks, that repair centers, etc. At this moment we have created the test product, pilot product. We tested it, installed the boats of number of companies, and received positive feedback. We have a number of patents for the control system, and filing right now the patent for the interceptor itself. In the coming future we are to produce certain shipments. This is the way of how it looks like installed on the ship. We have quite strong team. Key players are here. On top of that we have 4 other engineers that took part in development, all of whom are specialists in hydrodynamics. So respectively we are now looking in the amount of investment for the creation. We do have some orders of about 100 interceptors from the boat owners. We are looking for the 100,000 of investment, as well as we are possibly looking for industrial partner who will help us to produce this first set of our equipment. Thank you. Thank you, Maxim. The company is quite active in moving towards the market. It took the team a little longer to get the product to the market conditions, the needs. It took twice longer than was planned, but at the moment there is a maximum readiness and a great number of orders. The first shipment will be 100, after which they will need to scale up very quickly. Thus the task for the team is to organize proper cooperation with technological partners to be able to meet respective orders and be moving further to the marketplace. At the moment, Russia, joint with the guys, we decided to have Russia as the launch place because the team, the testing grounds, etc. But just a year ago, we got a great interest on the aspect of investment as well as business on part of our European partners. We decided that we would come in the to the European market when we would get to the first sales here in Russia. So that's the context, dear colleagues. If any questions, we are ready to discuss now or later. In the factory, we have a mentor who has the specific. They are interacting with Violet Maran, and we have visited yesterday the production. Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy. Any kind words will be helpful to Mikhail. Did you add 10%? No, we have. We agreed for less, didn't we? Well, or was it late that was the meeting yesterday? Yes, thank you. Next project. Next project is Get Coder by Marat Mingazov. Good afternoon, my name is Marat Mingazov. I am offering Get Coder platform to search and hire developers. Our main difference from solutions available on the marketplace is that we have developed and actively use the technology that allows us not only to aggregate information from headhunting websites as well as resumes, but the technology that allows to analyze the work that those developers have done, the program code that they used in the previous projects, and automatically identify their skills. In Russia at the moment we have analyzed 70,000 developers. There are a number of millions around the world, and now our platform is helping our clients, IT companies, HR departments of various companies, not just to find the developers with the skills that they need, but also to find an individual approach to how to contact the developer. Basically not sending some standard template letters, but we are analyzing every developer, understanding what is of interest to him, what kind of projects they would want to take part in, and then we are only communicating to them the opportunities that could be of interest to them and not at a large-scale mailing of the proposals. We are already receiving responses from the developers themselves showing that technology is working at giving good precise results on the analysis of code. Our work started in 2016. We went through acceleration of Pulsar venture capital investment from Enterprise Ireland. So if that was in the year 2015, 2016 was the development of the platform. In the year 2017, we did our first effort to come to the marketplace. We used standard monetization model, a monthly subscription for service. We made our first sales, 100,000 rubles, and received a very important lesson. When a new technology is coming to the marketplace, in our case, it turned out that companies are not ready to work with it because they have to transform, evolve, use this technology properly to achieve the results. This way, the standard model of sales in the framework of the monthly subscription didn't work. In year 2018, became a key year for us. We have reconsidered the monetization, are not offering the subscription, but full-fledged support to the company, showing how to use Get Coder technology to get the results.
And now we understand, at least in Russia, to whom and how we should sell our product. This year we participated in 3 HR conferences showing our products, and we signed 10 contracts for the pilot projects. Total amount of money 700,000 rubles. These are the companies we start our pilot projects, or we are on the stage of signing contract. But with one company we already went through the stage of piloting, and now we have a 1-year plan for cooperation. So this is our first attempt to get to the global market. We're preparing pilot company with the Kronis companies, They're expanding very actively. They organize a office in Singapore and United States, about 100 jobs, 100 IT specialists, and we're going to help them solving this problem. The feedback from our clients tells us the technology works, and the last feedback tells us why we are chosen but not the standard existing solutions. Now we come across the next challenge, the scaling, and more and more companies want to try pilot projects with us, but we don't have resources, and we don't have enough human resources. So in the nearest future, we're planning to increase the number of people. We take on 15 people who will help companies to explain what is get coder to get results. And next year we plan in Russia to make 8 million rubles, but to reach this we need investment 25 million rubles. And last week GetCoder company became a winner of the biggest Russian hackathon organized by Vkontakte. And as a result, we discussed with this company creating new product based on GetCoder technology, which would allow to follow up hackathons, and which would create a platform to help coders and developers to communicate. It's very important. It should allow us to work together with all developers and to explain to them our views, our philosophy and understanding of how the environment will change for the HR recruiting. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Marat. I have a question. How many registered coders do you have now? Our main idea is that we are not asking coders to register in our system. We analyze all open sources in the internet. As for the program codes, we analyze GitHub, GitLab, open source sites where the coders work. And on GitHub, it's about 20 million coders all over the world. In Russia, about 100,000 of them. So we worked with the Russian coders, not with the world. So information about 100,000 coders you get from the networks, yes. Any question? What's the average bill for the company? Because you work with the B2B. The average bill is about from 50 to 100,000 rubles. And how it works. And they pay us 20,000 a month subscription fee. They pay for our specialists who stay 1 month with them plus additional agreement, and we ask additional bonus if they find coder using our technology. These bonuses probably 0.5 or just 1 month's salary of a person whom they hired. So we don't save money for the companies. So they have their HR and they had to pay extra, yes. But we are talking not about saving money. You look at our last feedback. Our companies explained to us that we need to hire more people. And look at what solutions they have on the market. Most of them, they just site developments, and with all these resumes, with all these companies already being read, and they know what kind of resumes, what people, and usually they are not responsive, and they need fresh blood, and they need new coders. Our approach allows to analyze what these developers work on, and not to just mention it in the resume, but last year, but what this coder was doing last day, I mean the day before yesterday. And we use this information to help companies to get in touch with specialists, not that just I found your resume, you worked in this company, you're looking for a job. No, we get in touch and so we tell that, well, look, you know your projects are local and this is interesting for you. You use the same technologies, and we had company which starts project which is very similar to what you do, and I would really be interested in your help. Let's talk at least. If it's not interesting now, maybe you can recommend your colleagues who work in this area, and maybe you finish your project and then help with our project. So we are not telling, so we have great company if you want to work with us. No, we tell people, you know how you're developing, and we will offer you a project which might be interesting for you, so that the project will help you to continue development. And I don't understand why your pilot project, if you invite into hiring, why pilot projects don't pay for themselves, don't pay back. Why invest 25 million rubles? I just don't understand why. You said 25 million rubles you need for hiring people and testing the pilot project. Why your pilot projects do not pay back, even the salary? The problem is that originally we planned to build companies so not to have our own specialists who will work in the company. We would like to have automated service, not to provide companies with additional people from our office so they can use it themselves. But last year showed us that if you don't understand technology, they cannot use it efficiently. So we are forced to do it and to show them how to work with technology. I believe that this step with hiring people, it's just a temporary solution so that IT companies get a chance to learn how to use technology, and then just put them on a subscription mode. So it will be free. It will be free for company, right? Yes, thank you. As for economic companies, they will save time and money because they will find and hire exactly what they look for. They will lose 1 or 3 months if they hire somebody, and but they can understand that it's not the person whom they look for. Thank you. Take all any questions? The coder. Thank you very much, Marat. So we have finished, and I would like to thank everybody, thank our startups, our technological companies for this enthusiasm and this energy which they have and which allow them to organize startups against all odds. It's not easy work. These people are real fighters, and I'm sure that you all are here surrounded by the success stories, 100%, and I hope you learn a lot, watch, and I would like to help everybody here for participating in this event. Special thanks to Edgar Bulatov for his support, Global Media, Andrei Yermolayev for technological support, and you can see it in the YouTube broadcast. We'll send you the links, and of course I'd like you to participate actively and get in touch with us, because if you are interested in the companies with which we work, we discuss different ways of cooperation, because very often certain presentations we need not just financial support, but expert opinion and infrastructural support, technological support. Mentoring is very important on German forces. Thank you very much.
Да, я тоже хотел выразить от предпринимательского сообщества большую благодарность, Паш, тебе, всей твоей команде. Действительно, вот...
And I would like also to support what you're doing, and you can see at your professional level and how you do all these things, and I'm sure that we are in just the beginning of developing of this index financing and attracting investors on the seed funds, and I'm sure that what you do, it's just getting momentum, and money is around, it exists, and it's part of some problems in our Russian economy, and this what you do in explaining and promoting ideas, it's yes, investments will come. Thank you. Thank you very much for this event. Any other opinions? So I was here 2 or 3 years ago. It's a very good project, and before that I visited Kazan more often. Very good projects, and a lot of them they didn't see it. So strange, because we see a lot of projects in Russia, and I really would like to talk seriously with your people. Anton, please stay here. Yes, I would like to talk to you about investment, because I think that we can be useful for you with our infrastructure contacts, and thank you. A couple of words for our projects. Probably you don't know, but I'm from Skopko Foundation. My name is Anton Olimov, and Dati Park is our partner this year, and from GU, it's our operator. And if you have any questions, how to get in Skopko, or how can we be useful for your projects, you're welcome. I'm ready to talk to you about it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
А можно с Сафиным познакомиться, если он здесь еще?
Вас протокольно познакомить?
Нет, я просто визитку увидел на столе у коллеги. Да, давайте